people. See who's in my segment. What are they doing? How are they winning? Implement that formula for yourself. And number 3, the one thing about social media, why it's called social media. You see that thing we were saying about luxury is aloof. Luxury is about exclusivity. Luxury is about they can't have it. Those rules don't apply in social media. In social media, you have to value. If somebody likes, if somebody comments, you have to respond, especially if you're a brand. Because those interactions between you and who could be your potential customer in future, it's the beginning of what you are saying. What is your backstory? Are you that person who, if I reach out, you never respond? I don't care how great your product is. If I'm asking you a simple question about how to access your service or your product and you can't be bothered, what does that tell me the day I come to you as a client? After you get my money, you disappear. So those are the small nuances that you have to be aware about. And I'll advise a lot of you, go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource, especially when you want to understand business and social media. You'll actually find short articles, and this is something that you can't consume in a day. I'd be lying to you to tell you if you can consume it right now, here and now. It's something that you have to go out of your way, empower yourself, build it up, have a checklist. And there's something that I see, and I'll empower you with this tool. There's a chart that some of the best guys who have, happening social media accounts have. It's like a 30-day monthly planner. It tells you on the first day of the month, post an inspirational quote. On the second day of the month, post a quote to do with nature. So you can even plan. It just doesn't happen because Instagram demands you have pictures. If I ask you, when was the last time you took a picture of yourself? You don't remember. You're that person who you live in the moment. Well, social media demands you must convert yourself to that person who captures moments. So that those moments that you've captured, you're able to now post them and share them with the world to tell your story.
There's something that she has said. I think my personal take home from this is shadow an existing successful online brand. I don't know if there are some here who know a gentleman called Vusi Tembekwayo. I hope I've said it right. There's something he said that pretty much embodies what Tamima has said. He uses what is called the case strategy, which is copy and steal everything from whoever else has gone ahead of you. And, implement that. Go to successful brands and copy and steal everything.
Because as Africans, I'm sure we hear this word being thrown around, benchmarking. How many times have you had politicians are going somewhere to benchmark? So even I'm telling you, benchmark. And if you're smart, you're not benchmarking to duplicate. You're benchmarking to dominate. Period.
I'd like us to have a conversation. I'd like to open it up to you, dear guest. And we're going to have two types of conversations. The first is, I had mentioned before, if you have a question about social media and about the earlier presentation, feel free to ask. Raise your hand and I'll come to you. And then secondly, if any one of us has successful online brands, I'd like to also give you an opportunity to share a tip, especially in the wedding industry. How have you managed to reach out to the millennials using your Instagram handle or using your Facebook page or even using YouTube, which is a new in thing in this millennial market? So maybe I'll begin with the first. Is there anyone who has a question, or is there anyone who has been interacting with millennials on social media and you'd like to give us a few tips? Perhaps you could introduce yourself and then proceed.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is John Kaveke. I'm a fashion designer, mostly concentrating on men's fashion. My question is, since I come from Project X, that's the 40 plus, what would be your recommendation on how to position yourself in the millennium as a brand?
Perhaps you could direct that question to a particular person?
I think the lady, she seems to have more insight on the millennium. I'm sorry, I'm very poor with names. I remember people by their clothes. Tamima. Sorry about that. It's high. It's the way I'm built. So that's to Tamima. If you could share a bit insight on that.
All right, so before I take that to Tamima, let me just take 2 more questions and then I can head back to stage. Is there any other question?
Good morning, how are you? My name is Damiano. I'm from Mastercraft Entertainment. We offer quality MC services for both corporates and weddings. Now, my question is to our PR gentleman, with a very nice suit. When we go online, from a PR perspective, is there a particular way or a particular how to communicate to the millennials? Because now we know what they're looking for. How do we communicate that in a way that will capture them? And now integrating what Tamima has said with a PR perspective so that our social media accounts actually hit the right target that you're looking for.
One more question.
Mine is not a question, but it's a request. I would like Patricia Okello to talk about this abundance thinking, and especially as far as weddings are concerned and as far as sharing, because sometimes I've seen a lot of people think, I don't want to post this work because people will just copy it. So within that space, abundance thinking, because she's very good with it.
All right, so we will take it in that order. First Tamima, then Alex, and then Patricia.
I think the one thing about talking to a millennial, I'm sure a lot of you guys have had this statement, energy doesn't lie. Yeah? Like, have you ever met someone and just the energy, you're like, oh my God, this person and I, we are yin and yang. This was meant to be. Yeah? And then you meet another person and you're like, nah. Like this one, we are like water and oil. Talking to the millennial is like that. Your interaction with them could either go one of the 2 ways. So you need to prepare yourself so that when that interaction happens, you're yin and yang. They're like, oh my God, this is my long lost mother, father, brother, uncle, sister, best friend. Like, I've just discovered you. And the truest way to get to that is we have to consider the platforms. Because what works on Twitter, what works on Instagram is not what works on Facebook. Social media, it's a whole industry by itself. That is the reality. And what works on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram combined also does not work on YouTube. You have to be aware about how do millennials consume content. The people who developed Twitter developed it because they were like, okay, can we just have a space where people talk? I don't want to see pictures, I don't want to see videos, people talk. But quickly Instagram had to realize people love videos. People like pictures, so they had to adapt. And when we tell people talk, they don't want to be governed with like 60 characters. They really want to talk. When we come to Instagram, Instagram is about the photo album. I'm sure a lot of us guys from our moms, they had photo albums in the house. Every child had their own photo album, so that you could go and actually look at every milestone. Right now, if I ask millennial parents, who has a photo album? None. What do you guys have? You have digital photo albums on your laptops, on your phones, and whatnot. So Instagram is about moments. What Instagram was, because you realize, you guys, yes, you have those pictures stored, but if I ask you, where is that phone you're using in 2017? Who knows? So you're losing those pictures. You're taking them, but you're losing them. So Instagram, in its very essence, was just that. How could I offer everyone in the world a photo album where all they had to do was log in and catch up on their favorite moments? Facebook now is a combination of, it's the best of both worlds. You can talk all you want. You can even write a Facebook post that is like 1,000 words. They'll not stop you. And you can upload even 50 pictures. They'll not stop you. But what you have to figure out is, who am I talking to? Because you're in business. Everybody in this room is in business. How do I get my message out? Get it out as effectively as possible. And truly the best way to just talk to the millennial, be authentic. Be authentic. And authenticity, number one, I'll remind everyone in this room, you're Kenyan. So stop trying to be anything other than that. If you're a Kenyan brand, talk to me like a Kenyan. Let me not see like you're trying to talk to me like an American. Use Kenyan experiences. You're better off convincing me